I wonder if we'll hit 100 hours during this palace. I presume it's going to take more than an hour to get to the end. But yes, welcome back to being a bit on edge and having a feeling like something's happening in the Velvet Room. We just completed the dice area last time, but before we head on to the slots area, we're gonna go ahead and do a fusion that I was gonna do last time, but didn't get to because, accident. So...
Do you need something?
Yes, I do need something. In fact, you need something. You need exactly what I'm gonna be fusing here. And, as I said last time, Bugs is a pretty good persona, I find, thanks to, Auto... And I had a feeling that I had over 50% by now, but yeah, thanks to Auto, Mataru. So yeah, we get a discount on the compendium from this.
Pursue rehabilitation.
It might seem a little bit late to have 50% compendium, but I am starting to fill it out faster.
Prepare for the unexpected.
And a lot of the higher level personas require these very, very big advanced fusions, so yeah, the compendium's gonna go faster later on in the game. But now it is time for Bugs, and I don't even need to pay special treatment.
I see. This is certainly a powerful persona.
Do need to pay for the personas out of the compendium, though. And yeah, in this case, both Potent Hypnosis and Internal Hypnosis have exactly the same effect on Auto Mataru, since it counts as both a buff cast on yourself and allies.
This should bestow great power indeed. Well, well.
And here we are, Killer Teddy Bear. That's internal organs are entirely skulls, apparently. I don't want to get rid of Cyodyne. I definitely want Auto Mataru, though. Of all these things, Miracle Punch is probably one I'm likely to be using the least. Triple Down, though, is part of why Bugs is so good, I find, though I actually have better personas for this thanks to Gun Boost. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to give that up. Also, yes, Bugs turns into Teddy's favorite weapon, Big Bear Gloves, which is for Makoto and gives medium critical rate up. In fact, this is a weapon that I often find myself using on her quite late into the game, and I only remember that because it looks very distinctive. But speaking of good Makoto weapons, oh, you have Revolution. I was going to use that on some things, and also Brain Jack is nice to have, but...
This weapon will be stronger than normal.
I kind of like the idea of having a +7 magic gun on Makoto, at least for now.
Is this the result? Now, you shall be reborn.
Alright, let's hang 'em.
This hay will get me nuke boost on a persona with Freydyne, so that's kind of nice.
This will arrive. May your powers become one.
I actually like the way Ananta looks this close up. No, I don't think so. Arahabaki and Ganesha, two personas I'm not really attached to, makes Pazuzu.
You okay with this?
This should be
I can just give you everything.
To work.
Yeah, I've learned that Pazuzu actually has a pretty big role in Shin Megami Tensei, not Shin Megami Tensei, Megami Tensei 2 no Shin, and is weirdly an ally of the Law faction in that game, even though you wouldn't really expect him to be. You know what? I think I have Eiga on other things and I have Akechi. Let's see what this turns into. You know, I had a feeling it was just going to be a straight upgrade. I don't know why, I just kind of guessed. I like Pazuzu's animations in this game too. He is one of these situational skills I was talking about before. Because, like, the thing is, foul odor, like, ailments have such a high chance of working in this game anyway, that you only really need one form of ailment boosting, so foul odor's pretty much enough here. I'd probably take these other ailment skills over, that, but I'll take stagnant air over foul breath. Okay, next fusion is going to be an automatic accident, which
Today
means...
we will hang them more forcefully.
So in that case, I'm just gonna buy the cheapest thing I have in my compendium, which is Pixie, and sack it for, hopefully, stat boosts. Yep, stat boosts.
Turn of events.
Got increased strength and agility, exactly what I hoped for. That's actually pretty low luck on a physically focused persona, which is not good given that luck affects crits, but I mostly wanted that accident so that it would end the alarm, because now I can rank this up to 9. I've said this before, but I'll say it again, you cannot rank up strength during an alarm.
Hey. It would seem...
I love that, hey. Hey, your teddy bear, show it, now. Oh yes, not just our encounters in here, but our encounters in the real world too. Huh. I mean, I do know a lot of pairs of siblings who don't actually get along very well.
Yeah.
Let's, tempt the tsundere.
Listen up, inmate.
Okay, yeah, the Fool's Journey. It's a lot more relevant to the plot of Persona 3 overall, but it's still part of 4 and 5. Yeah, maybe we're finally starting to see what rehabilitation actually is. Oh no, I think we do comprehend it. Basically just means that you two are becoming nicer. Maybe. Oh, you know what that voice is, though? Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we're always here to talk when you're ready. There's still one more rank to go, so yeah, let's not leave you in suspense. Let's find out the final persona they need us to make, which is the same in the original as well as Royal. Some of these got changed in Royal, but some of them are the same. I'm pretty sure Bugs with Summer Calm was the same too. Yes, immensely powerful reward, oh boy. I do remember that in my first playthrough of Vanilla P5, this dungeon was where I hit Strength Rank 10, so this is where I first had special treatment, but in Royal, I tend to get special treatment around Futaba's Palace. Seth with High Counter.
Listen up, inmate.
Now, Seth with High Counter, well, yeah, as you may have seen before, Seth requires an advanced fusion spread. He can only be made through Isis, Anubis, Thoth, and Horus. I don't quite have Horus yet, but I have the others. Now, of these personas, none of them naturally learn High Counter. So, this is a fusion request that is almost always cheese with skill cards. I am going to try and show how to do it without skill cards, although it's pretty awkward, but yeah, I've kind of promised to just try and do all of these without skill cards if possible. I'm going to go bring Ryuji in. I haven't really used him for a while, and I haven't got a chance to show off his Deathbound. And now I kind of want to have Bugs equipped almost all the time. Yeah, we don't need to go to the dice game area. The semi-non-linear nature of this palace makes it a little bit confusing to figure out sometimes which safe rooms you want to warp to. But yeah, I haven't shown this one yet. And yeah, we went to 1/5 of the way through to the middle. Yeah, the whole progress reports with the palace I find are a little bit inconsistent because, yeah, it's how do I explain this? It's just, basically, these palaces often go by faster than you'd think, and each individual, like, gap between safe rooms represents a fairly large area. Okay, that is the dice area. For some reason I keep thinking that the dice area is, to the opposite side.
I can feel it.
But we can get a present here. Now, I'm gonna heal because I do believe that there is gonna be a mini-boss ambushing us right when we get into the slot area. Yep, hi there. Yeah, when I first played Pokemon Red and Blue, I used to think there was some skill to this, but no, it's entirely luck-based. Although, yeah, some of the slot machines did have different odds according to the NPCs in that game. I don't know if anyone ever figured out, like, the exact odds on each individual machine. I've been granted permission to Dimitri you here. Another test, I see. Except, not even the mini-boss theme, we're just using Last Surprise. Arrogant Vulture.
The opponent is strong. Don't do anything reckless.
Nocturnal Flash with Dizzy Boost and Magarodine. Basically, its strategy is quite similar to, not Shadow, Wakaba, Cognitive Wakaba. So, I seem to remember that this thing was, weak to... I'm gonna see if I can get Zeodyne on it and see if I can get a shot with Makoto's Gaia Pact. No, not quite. Oh, great. Maybe I shouldn't have brought Ryuji.
Ball fell down. Hang in there.
Well, I mean, the good news is that Joker didn't take any damage from that, and also Detox. The bad news is Ryuji's dodge ability didn't trigger.
Chase my wrath.
And Akechi at this point doesn't really have... Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and, I have a lot of items. Better be safe than sorry. Akechi doesn't really have any kind of silly item animation. Okay, so... Makoto, I haven't even equipped her better gun yet. The fact that I'm not getting shock off here is making me think that maybe it's just not, possible on this thing. Yeah, I had a feeling that would miss. Now, the wiki has steered me wrong before, but apparently, okay, it is weak, and so now I can test this thing out with, Intense Focus and Nuke Boost. Wow. Yeah, let's just not waste any time and finish it. Oh, poor Ryuji, this was the wrong time to put him back in the party. I do think there are some things coming up, though, that he's good against. I seem to vaguely remember that. Wow, that was worth a lot of experience.
Level up. Check out this new skill.
Okay, Elec Boost. Now, Ryuji never learns Elec Amp. I feel kind of bad for getting rid of this, but it is heavily nerfed in Royal. Next up is Megaton Raid, severe damage. Akechi already has right now. And Diarahan. So at this point, that's only a single target though. I feel like I don't really use this though. I prefer items for status curing. But yeah, at this point, Morgana's Proud Presence starts to become less useful. Let me just straight up upgrade that. Because, you know, increasing the healing power of moves doesn't really do anything when they're already fully healing you. Hilariously, it actually does still raise their healing power. You'll just end up massively overkilling your own HP. I do kind of wish this was one of those games that had I think there's a skill called Doping in SMT4 that raises your HP cap. Or, you know, everyone here is all just mesmerized by the machines and constantly hoping they get a winning streak.
You're right.
Meanwhile, the lurkers prowl the floor, waiting for somebody to give up, and then they jump in and steal your jackpot. That is actually just textbook gambler's fallacy, really. Just because a machine hasn't paid out in a long time doesn't mean it's gonna pay out soon. Just like with a coin... Also, yes, let's do this fair and square in a scamming casino. But yeah, I feel like an example of gambler's fallacy is that if you've got a coin that's landed on tails 9 times in a row, it's easy to think, oh, it's going to be more likely to land on heads, right? Because the chance of 10 tails in a row is really low, but no. As a lot of things say, and in fact I'm taking this directly from the Murderous Maths book on probability, a coin or a die has no memory. It doesn't matter that it's rolled a 6 100 times in a row, it's still going to have a 1 in 6 chance of rolling every result on its next roll. Of course, Laura Bailey and Critical Role would think otherwise. So yeah, I guess the low payout machines are here. And we need to find a higher paying machine. The sweet slot machine. But as I said though, we gotta watch out for the lurkers. We've actually got a crawl space right here. Now this entire area is one where you might want to make sure that you're using third eye as much as possible.
Show me your true form.
Just saying. But also, the lurkers here are actually the Playboy Bunny waitresses with particularly large assets. And they always turn into female shadows when you make them show their true forms. That just reminds me of something. I forgot to mention this while we're at the school festival, which is kind of a travesty because it's hilarious. In the anime, there is like a horror house exhibit at the, I think Kumhanda still has. I keep forgetting the abilities of my own personas, but it's because I take a few days in between recording attempts sometimes.
Okay, let's move on.
But yeah, in the anime, they go to like a horror exhibit in the school festival, and Joker jumps at one of the people in ghost masks and says, "Show me your true form," because force of habit. That's admittedly pretty funny. Yeah, right here, there's, yeah, none of these slot machines are actually playable. But again, just keep your third eye up and remember the area around here, because you will need to later. Speaking of remembering areas, I remember this section. Oh yeah, this section gets kind of annoying, but here we can't even go any further, so let's go through here. This one's sort of a hybrid backstage and casino hallway. Okay, you might be Ganesha, let's see. No, you're an exploding thing. Oh, actually, you are still a Ganesha.
Feeling about that one.
Yeah, the way he says bugs is kind of weird.
Holy crap, this is good.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a great time to get the Phantom Bombers Award, but yeah, I didn't realize the explosion just hangs there if you activate it through that particular showtime.
I'll do this at the speed of light.
Okay, we didn't really have many memento search objects. I don't even think that regenerates the free coin presents either. Oh yeah, I probably should exchange some of my coins for prizes at the counter. Yeah, just remember that you,
I see a shadow. Be careful.
You going that. Just remember though that you, I cannot believe you didn't see me, that you will always be able to afford those, just with the coins that you get during basically this story. Okay, hi there, arrogant vulture. I can actually recruit you, again, due to, the amazingness that is Yoshida's Confidant. Like, I still think that it's not, like, really the best rank 10 ability, but I feel like as far as, like, the non-totally busted ones go, it's pretty fun to use. Because, like, it's not broken recruiting things above your level, because they don't really come with as many skills as, say, fusing things above your level. You not worry you get in trouble if those groups hear what you are doing to me. Oh yeah, the whole animal rights things. It's for love. Why do I wear masks? I care about my looks, it keeps my foes' bloods off? That's what I want to know. Yeah, I feel like that's a vague answer. What happens if I do the warning shot now? Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty sure that's actually a guaranteed recruitment. Maybe I underrated warning shot. It's probably... Yeah, I think it's a lot better than I initially realized. So that's Jatayu.
That's a new one. fun, isn't it?
With this, I'm probably going to fill up the compendium faster too, because I won't need to, like, I won't end up missing recruitments just because they're kind of above the level you're reasonably expected to be in the palace. Oh, Joker doesn't do that flailing arm. Oh, crap! That. And yeah, these kind of casinos do that, although now I'm just reminded of that moment in Ocean's 13 where they basically have to, they basically rig the casino to pay out a whole ton of money on its opening night, but, the casino has a, like an anti-cheating, sophisticated computer system, on it that would notice if one of them won the payout because they wouldn't be surprised.
Hey,
Yeah, activated remotely from somewhere else, huh? Yeah, you'll want to remember this location for later, as Akechi says. But yeah, regarding, Ocean's 13. So yeah, none of, like, the thieves could actually rig it in their own favor. So instead they rig it so just a random bystander ends up winning the jackpot, because then all of the cameras register legitimate surprise. I just thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, this area kind of wraps around on itself a lot. So now we're above the initial slot machines. Okay, so we wouldn't have been able to get any further through that crawl space anyway, because we'd need to unlock it from the other side. But yeah, this takes us back through here. I'm going to go in here just because, double-faced. I don't think I've seen that sticker before. Just to register this on my map, and now I'm going to head immediately back. I think it should have said two-faced, not double-faced. Oh, I remember this area. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get a jumping ambush, but this is objectively better as far as ambushes go, so I'll take this. In fact, now that I've mentioned Ocean's 13, I guess I can go on. So there's a topic that I wanted to talk about specifically in Saya's Palace, just because I feel like the casino is just like one of the most heist movie-ish locations of this game, and that's really saying something. I'm kind of surprised Makoto doesn't have Trade yet, honestly. Feels like she really should. But because of that, it just makes me want to talk about just my experience with heist movies and just a few comments on some heist movies that I like. Despite the fact that I really like the heist aesthetic of Persona 5, it's part of, like, you know, one of the main things I like about it. I'm not really into, like, a whole ton of heist movies. Really, the only two that I've seen are the Ocean's 11 series, the new ones. There's actually an older, like, it's actually a remake of an older one, but I've never really seen much of that version. And there's Attack Master. Yeah, I don't need regular Korga at this point. But his instant kills are going to be next to go.
that was an easy battle.
But, yeah, I do like the Ocean's 11 movies. I think, of course, the original of the remakes. But, you know, they're with, George Clooney and, Brad Pitt. And a lot of other, yeah, it's kind of interesting, like, Matt Damon's in that, also, yes, there's a terminal here, remember that one? Matt Damon is in that, but he's kind of playing, rather than an action hero, he's sort of playing, like, the naive new guy, kind of like Akechi is here, which is sort of interesting because it's kind of before we got typecast as more leading roles. But yeah, I would say the first one's definitely the best. To me, like, my order goes Ocean's 11, Ocean's 13, Ocean's 12. Like, the others aren't as good, but I feel like for a third sequel, 13 wasn't that bad. And 2 has a bit of a different formula to the rest. 2 is also very, very sly, though, to me, because 2 has Brad Pitt's character getting into a romance with a detective/police officer. So that just gives me major Sly and Carmelita vibes. But, yeah, speaking of which, I think the main reason why I like the heist movie genre so much is entirely because of the Sly Cooper video games. They were platformers / kind of massive genre mashups. It was kind of in that era where people really liked just shoving as many gameplay styles into a game as possible, but I think it actually worked pretty much fine for Sly. Like, it wasn't quite Big the Cat, because usually you only got those different styles for like one very brief mission. And it sort of fit with the whole doing different jobs before you pull off the final heist kind of theming of the whole thing.
Hey.
And And yet another terminal. They have different colors though, so that might be significant. Unfortunately, they are actually marked on your map, which is good. I probably should have examined the other one just to do that, because you will need to examine them all for later. But of the Sly games, I actually got into the Sly series by complete accident, through a demo. You know how some old PlayStation 1 and 2 games, you could enter a code on the game start screen and you get a demo for a totally different game? Like, a few Spyro games got demos in Crash for that reason, and vice versa. Well, I think one of the Ratchet and Clank games had a hidden demo for Sly 2 in it. It was just the intro chapter, plus a little bit of, I had a feeling I'd give me the goods here.
That's decent.
Vacuum cutter, I think that's a wind attack item. There's a skill called Vacuum Wave, also you have a slight pause there, I knew that it would be Futaba, you can just kind of tell sometimes. But yeah, back to what I was talking about with Sly. So, yeah, it was just the intro chapter and a couple of missions in the first chapter, the Paris one.
Okay.
But I was pretty much instantly hooked from playing that demo, and so I immediately rented, from Blockbuster, the Sly 2. Yeah, I rented Sly 2 first. I got onto a lot of these old, yeah, they're old now, which makes me feel old, but, I got into a lot of these platformers kind of later. And one play 5,000 coin, huh? That's actually the reason why you need to do the dice game first. I mean, technically you could own 5,000 coins without the dice game, it would just take a really long time. But also, watch out, because the hostesses are here. And also, yeah, here's the thing that I didn't realize for ages. Some of these slot machines are actually playable. It's completely pointless. Also, the sevens have the kanji for crime on them, I think. Or guilty. I think it might be guilty. Yeah, I never knew about these for so long. It's kind of insane. But again, it's pretty much completely pointless. Also, they may be rigged so that you always lose. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. You never really need to examine them anyway. But yeah, so, yeah, I played a lot of those games out of order, and I still think that Sly 2 is my favorite of that trilogy. I would say my order there goes 2, 3, 1. Sly 1, I would still say is worth playing. Alright, you're not, the one that's weak to nuke, you're the one that's weak to fire, and you're weak to wind. Also, I really need to equip that weapon that I specifically made from the Kodo. Mostly because I'm curious about how it's gonna look.
Breathe and move on. Persona.
Yeah, you can get Garud. And I think I was wrong about things in here being weak to Ryuji. It's kind of sad. I haven't really got a chance to use him much. Do I have fire? I don't have fire on anyone at all, do I? Well, triple down. When in doubt, miss everything. Okay then. Gaia Pack Shock, please? Aha, nice! Got her on both of them. I guess Ryuji is, doing something.
I'll do something about this.
I was hoping that would be SP recovery. It's not a whole lot, but every little bit helps.
Melee may work, but you might get shot.
Okay, let's just go for Swift Strike and kind of reclaim some of its old glory. Now, I was saying about Sly 1, though. Sly 1 is weird. It's very much a Crash Bandicoot clone. Like, it's not a bad platformer, but it's very different to 2 and 3. In 2 and 3, the series kind of became what's described as, oh, I think the slot machines here are marked in yellow, the ones you can play. But yeah, it's become what has been described as a kid-friendly Grand Theft Auto, and I wouldn't know because I don't play Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, it's basically become like more of a heist-based structure, where, like, you do small jobs in a large open area and dodging guards and stuff there, and then once you've completed all the main jobs in a chapter, then you unlock the final big heist mission, which are pretty much identical to the calling card sendings in Persona 5. it's kind of insane just how similar the formulas of the two games are. It's, as I said back when back in my intro video for this playthrough, part of what got me so interested...
You're vulnerable! Quick!
Serves you right.
Also, yes, the head uses ray guns, and Counter-Strike works on guns, that's good to know.
Let's go.
That was almost terrible. If both of them had got counter, that probably would have been death. Note to self, never use physicals on Valkyries again. I got countered in a previous part, but again, I have a break of a few days between recordings. So that's, well, yes, that's the result of my hubris there. Let's go back and equip bugs as well, because it's easy to forget to equip in between things. But yeah, as I said, Sly 1 is still pretty good. Its story and characters are still quite good. Like, I don't know, I think the characters of Sly are just very endearing overall. Like, a lot of them have surprisingly good development throughout the series.
Come on, man.
I was going to talk about one of them, but I guess it's technically a spoiler, but I guess not, because their appearance in Sly 3 pretty much spoils it. But basically, one member of the gang ends up in a wheelchair at the end of the second game, and plays that way in the third game. So yeah, like, it's not like a thing where things keep getting reset to the status quo. There are some major shakeups to the group, and yeah, again, like, there's some quite decent character development among most of them. I think Carmelita, the Inspector character, has recently become a bit controversial because she kind of goes back and forth on her character development quite a lot. Like, one time she's
Do you have a moment?
helping Sly and the gang, and another time she's back antagonizing them again. Also, her voice actress changes in every single game. I think, personally, my favorite voices for her are Sly 2 and Thieves in Time. But yeah, I'll stop my tangent for a bit while we go into this gimmick of this area. Yeah, remember when they've said that we need to find a big terminal that's connected to all of the other ones? Well, it looks like it's right here, but there's one enemy around here, which I guess might give me some time to finish my final Sly discussion. But yeah, you might notice that I have not mentioned Thieves in Time. The fourth game in that series, made by Sanzaru Games, who also made the remakes on PS3, and I think they're available on PS4 as well. The remakes later on. And yeah, Thieves in Time is contentious. I think that a lot of it is still fairly decent. Like, it's got pretty much the same kind of formula as Sly 2 and 3, and it is a little bit more of the same at times, but it's got a gimmick of being able to play as Sly's ancestors, who have been built up across the trilogy as well. Like, most of them are characters that were mentioned in background details in earlier Sly games. So it's cool getting to finally meet them, like, and especially their takes on them. Like, for example, one of them is a Wild West cowboy voiced by Sam Riegel, basically doing a kind of a deeper version of his Donnie voice from Awakening. That guy's basically Donald, but as a Western gunslinger, and it's pretty awesome. And then there's also an incredibly hammy knight voiced by Yuri Lowenthal as the medieval Sly ancestor.
That's our queen!
Just stay there.
I do kind of wish, like, there was some of the ancestors that we didn't get to play as in Thieves in Time who were teased in 3, like, Thaddeus Winslow Cooper, who I think was Victorian era, and Henrietta One-Eye Cooper from the pirate era. But I guess they already had a pirate episode in Sly 3, so it would have been a little bit too... Yes, welcome to Persona 5 Royal, where I go in a very in-depth discussion of my personal thoughts on the Sly Cooper series. Burn Boost. This is actually decent to have, kind of, but, Okay, you know what? I was gonna say I don't really need this anymore, and then I realized that the boss at the casino does use Heat Riser, so I might need it. Also, the boss of the next palace after this also uses Heat Riser, so I probably do need it. In that case... Yeah, there comes a time in the life of every Arn where I sometimes end up dumping her single-target spells and only having multi-target spells on her. And it can come back to bite you against the super boss, but in normal battles it's not much of a risk once she nulls fire, because, yeah, Repel's not really going to have much of an effect on her. So yeah, I'll take Burn Boost. Okay. Burn is not the greatest ailment, really, because it only technicals from wind. and thus you're encouraged to use arm with Morgana. Yeah, anyway, oh yes. So, the main reason Thieves in Time is disliked is that it ends on a cliffhanger, and the developers have full-on confirmed that they're never gonna follow up on said cliffhanger because they've kind of lost the rights to the series, and the series is kind of dead. It was gonna get, like, a cartoon movie or something, but that seems to have fallen through as well. Just kind of a shame that it's fallen out of favor so much. Yeah, this probably works just like those carnival games that you see in arcades. In that the machines themselves have basically a chance of winning setting that's built into them. So, Futaba only needs the red and green ones. We did see a purple one before, and I think we saw a yellow one, so we don't need those. Most likely near the entrance to this area. The other should be back in the staff-only area somewhere. Yeah, okay, this is good to know. The entrance to the slot area, not the entrance to this specific room, but the entrance to the entire slot area. That one actually took me a while when I first played, because I expected that it was the entrance to this room, and I forgot to check, like, the very beginning of the slot area. But yeah, so Thieves in Time ends on a cliffhanger. It also does something very contentious in that it basically takes a character from a quite liked character from one of the earlier Sly games and turns them into a villain, sort of out of nowhere. That's another reason a lot of people don't like Thieves in Time. Except this is more purple than blue. Suppose, like, red and green peppers. But for red and green, I more say Pokemon colors. Yeah, you turned around. I wasn't really able to use the Shimei hook there. Of course, it misses the one thing that I wanted to hit with that.
Persona!
I think you mean pass together because, yeah, I already had you before. Oh, and I get this immediately. So, something that I haven't actually shown yet is if you talk to a persona that you've already had before, they do give you the option to instantly recruit them back. Just didn't end up getting it there because I triggered Join My Cause. I still love the localization of that. Like, Join My Cause is such a great way to translate an option that instantly recruits something.
I can feel
No holds barred!
Nice one, everything here is dizzy.
You got 3 of them! So cool!
Who's next?
Your power's incredible, Joker!
And I knew she'd get Freydine soon, so let's take that over Freyla. Nobody else has anything new, though. Now, in here was the terminal I forgot to register on the map. Is that green? Yeah, it looks kind of more yellow to me, but yeah, let's hit this one. Yeah, I do personally like this area more than the dice area because you're jumping back and forth between the backstage area and the rest of the casino, as well as having to do a little bit more involved of a puzzle than just get to the end of the backstage area. So on my way back, there's actually one more heist movie tangent that I wanted to talk about, because these are a couple of heist movies that I watched, and I personally don't think they're that great. They're fun, but they're not amazing. They're the Now You See Me duology. The gimmick is they combine heist movies with stage magic. And sometimes it gets a little bit over the top and almost looks like literal magic, but other times it is just kind of cool how it's done. It reminds me of some of the cases in Ace Attorney that involve stage magic. I feel like this is not the most efficient way back to the start, but I'll take it anyway, I suppose. But the reason why I wanted to bring them up is that even though I don't think they're that great, Now You See Me 2 does something really interesting that I have rarely seen a sequel do before. And even though, again, I don't think it's perfect, it's kind of a clever concept. So, Now You See Me 1 had, let's just say that it had some issues with its plot. There's a plot twist in it, and the plot twist makes the heroes come across probably a lot less sympathetically than intended, and the sort of supposed villain of the film ended up looking like a victim in the end. And there were a lot of things about it that just kind of undercut a lot of it in the end. So what Now You See Me 2 does is, in a way that doesn't feel like a retcon, or like Rise of Skywalker saying, okay, everything in the previous movie that fans hated didn't matter at all. It reframes the entire first movie in a way that kind of makes sense in story, like with the context, and in a way that makes all the flaws of the first movie retroactively become much less of a problem. Yeah, the terminal's actually here. It often takes me a while to find this, but that's why I said that you want to keep Third Eye up. Going into it any further would actually involve major spoilers, but like I'll just say that it's a really interesting way of doing things, and it fits with the whole kind of misdirection theme of stage magic. It makes the first film only feel like half of a greater whole, and again, it retroactively mitigates a lot of its flaws by having them play into a greater plot that sort of undoes them as flaws. Again, I want to stress that it's still not an amazing film, but it's pretty cool in what it does. Anyway, we're going to do the same thing we did with the dice game, and you can do this before the dice game. So it says it like it has a risk to it, but I'm pretty sure that you are guaranteed to win if you try the big slot machine. And we can head straight there, which, yeah, I've already cleaned out the rest of this area, I might as well. Oh, hi there, double bunny girl ambush. Don't make me go extinct, please. I'm gonna have to take out one of them, or both of them.
Do it again, Scout!
And that's kind of the main issue that I personally have with Deathbound on Skull, is that, like, in order to get the maximum possible damage, you have to hit twice with it, which is not always guaranteed. Oh, got another, begging. Okay, I guess I can take you. I can't promise I won't forget you, though.
Okay.
But on a final note, I'll also say, Now You See Me 2 is worth watching simply for the fact that it has Daniel Radcliffe playing a really hammy man-child villain who's just very fun to watch. And he does it actually pretty well, too. Big gamble, huh? Well, yep, I'm gonna... Oh wow, those cherries have actual Japanese prosecutor badges on them. So yeah, you'll recognize that badge design if you played Ace Attorney, because Edgeworth's badge looks exactly like that. Now, I don't even know if this can fail, if it does, I will regret not saving. Ann was so excited she stole Ryuji's catchphrase. I also love the way this is animated too, it's just like... the chips just flow out of it and then like they all just back away. This is pretty much exactly what happened in that one Ocean's 13 thing, except again, the thieves here are the ones who are actually doing it. So thankfully, this place doesn't have the Greco installed.
Yes.
Yeah, let's head straight there. Though you will probably want to save before exchanging for the member card. Because there is actually going to be a fight coming up. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Soma and the bead chain. So yeah, you will always have enough coins for these, and they are missable if you leave the palace without, if you steal the calling card. If you steal the treasure, like, you will lose access to those forever.
Let's take... Well...
So, you guys saying anything new now?
Hey, hey!
Yeah, I'm not really into
Yep.
that whole thing. This just reminded me about how sometimes when I was a kid, like, I used to have, like, lunch with my family at, like, clubs, and
What are your
I was
thoughts?
always just kind of scared to go into them because I thought the entire club was adults only just because of the
Let's go.
casino section, but yeah, it's really just the casino section that children aren't
do it.
allowed in. The restaurants were fine. And now that we've finished the slots area, I'm gonna call this here, because next time we're gonna be hitting a point where we'll be forced out of the palace temporarily. So next part will contain a little bit of real life stuff and also the start of the second day of the palace. See you all then for that.